Breaking news, 20 supporters seated behind President Trump on stage were rushed to the emergency room with blurred vision and eye burns after a rally in Tucson, Arizona, sparking speculation that many were poisoned or even experiencing Havana syndrome. We're unpacking this story and so much more here on the Morning Catch-Up, only on Vigilant News. Well, alarming is just hitting the tip of the spear. Our top story today coming from the gatewaypundit.com. Breaking, 20 supporters seated behind Trump experienced complications. What caused this? Jim Hoff reports that Arizona Globe journalist has reported to a troubling development following former President Donald Trump's rally in Tucson, Arizona last Thursday. Kelly noted that as many as 20 people were affected by these symptoms, all of whom were seated on the left side of the stage, sparking speculation that maybe they were targeted by some sort of direct energy weapon. I know it sounds crazy, but it's not, like we've seen with the Havana syndrome. Now, many supporters seated behind Trump on stage went to the ER after the rally with blurred vision and burning of the eyes. Now, I spoke to several who still have not fully recovered. As many as 20 were affected, Kelly wrote on X. It goes on to say that the cause of the symptom remains unknown and an active investigation is underway. Supporters from the Latinos for Trump group were among the most severely impacted, including Pastor Eli Moreno and his wife, Francesca. Now, Pastor Moreno described mild discomfort, but his wife's symptoms were far worse. Her vision blurred, her face swelled up, and we had to rush to the nearest Walgreens for help, Pastor Moreno told Kelly. Now, Ms. Moreno's symptoms persisted for several days, and despite treatment in the ER, she had been referred to an ophthalmologist for further care. Now, when you hear about something this insane, you ask yourself, are we really living in a day and age where they're going after Trump not just with guns, but also with energy weapons or maybe even some sort of a poison? Yeah, well, it's not really outside of the realm of possibility, considering the fact that not one, but two individuals already tried to kill Trump. There was already rumors of explosives, which who knows if that was a cover-up. And now you're hearing that many more were affected? Well, this story is even weirder because why was Trump not sick? Or was he? And we don't know about it. I mean, the question is God on his side, or are these people just downright incompetent? There's no way that over 20 people could get together and find themselves hurt in the same ways with the same symptoms unless maybe there was something wrong. Now, of course, it's a little too early to speculate and say that we know this was an attack. But with how weird things have been going, it's not weird to suggest that it was. I mean, if you look further at the story, it continues to explain that Ms. Moreno's symptoms persisted several days despite treatment in the ER. She's been referred to an ophthalmologist, as we said, but another attendee, Myra Rodriguez, a Planned Parenthood whistleblower, shared a similar experience, explaining that just 30 minutes after leaving the rally, she was unable to open her eyes due to extreme burning. When I got to the hospital, they told me that I had a chemical burn, Rodriguez said. Days later, I'm dealing with blurry vision and sensitive to light. In an interview with News 4 Tucson, Rodriguez described her visit to the emergency room where medical staff asked if she had been sprayed with something based on her unusual symptoms. Now, of course, we're going to continue to talk about this story. I just want to remind you that this episode is sponsored by Tax Network USA. They're helping Americans across the country get rid of their back taxes without even having to file for bankruptcy. You've got to check it out, link in the description, or give them a call. We'll talk about that later on in the show, as I want to make sure you guys are taken care of. But talking about this story, it says that the emergency room staff, from the triage nurse to the physician assistant, asked, "Are you sure that you didn't get sprayed?" Here's the key part. Are you sure you didn't get sprayed with something? Your symptoms look like you got sprayed with something. Well, that's weird. Now, I can't see anything when I try to open my eyes, she said. I see a bright light. It hurts. It hurts a lot to open my eyes. I have this cold cloth I put on and take off constantly. It's horrible, she added. Now, News 4 reported that she said the doctors were not able to pinpoint exactly what caused her injuries. Her vision has started to improve as of Tuesday, so her blindness does not appear permanent. Now, the outlet added that her initial thoughts of being allergies seemed to go out of the window when she started to hear from several other people that were seated near her at the event, reporting that they too suffered eye injuries. The News 4 also spoke with a brother and sister who wished to remain anonymous after they experienced alarming symptoms while seated near Myra. It kept getting worse and worse. My eyes were watering a lot, my nose started running, then I started feeling my face get really flushed, and my neck felt like it was on fire. And it just progressed from there, the sister said. Now, her brother said that it was focused on my eyes. My eyes were red as hell, you know. It's unbearable. I really couldn't handle it. Now, Danielle Alvarez, a senior advisor to Trump's campaign, acknowledged the situation and assured the campaign is investigating. Quote, "The Trump campaign has been collecting information. We remain committed to the countless patriots to attend our high-energy, high-impact rallies across the country. High energy or high energy weapon, I'm not entirely sure, but it's safe to say that what's been going on in this country is not something that I've gotten used to. Now, I want to remind you guys that if you also owe back taxes, the relief is not here. At least until you just found out that we have friends over at the Tax Relief Network who are helping fight for Americans to get rid of their back-owed taxes. Along with hiring thousands of new agents and field officers, the IRS kicked off 2024 by sending over 5 million pay-up letters to those who have unfiled tax returns. Is that you? Or is that going to be you? You better listen up. Don't waive your rights and speak with them on your own. They are not your friends. Tax Network USA, a trusted tax relief firm, has saved over $1 billion in back taxes for their clients, and they can help you secure the best deal possible. Whether you owe $10,000 or $10 million, they can help you today. Whether it's business or personal taxes, hey, even if you have the means to pay it off, maybe you're even on a fixed income, they don't care. They can help finally resolve your tax burdens once and for all. Check that number down on the screen and call 1-800-958-1000. That's 1-800-958-1000 for a private free consultation. Or if you prefer the internet, go to tnusa.com/VNN today. That's tnusa.com/VNN. Check it out before it's too late. Now, as I mentioned, many are speculating that this was more than just an issue, as one of the bombshell reports stated. Breaking, what is going on in Tucson? Many supporters seated behind Trump on stage went to the ER after the rally with blurred vision and burning to the eyes. You can watch the reports there, as many said, hey, this is not something normal. I feel like something bad is happening. Alex Jones posted this to getting over several million views, but the report is more damning than I could have even imagined. Check this out.
Reporters of former President Donald Trump that were allowed to sit behind his stage at his Tucson rally last week tell the News 4 Tucson investigators they left with mysterious injuries to their eyes. News 4 Tucson's chief investigative reporter Course Nylander is live outside the Tucson Music Hall downtown. Course, what are we learning about their situation?
Yeah, well, Monica, this is where thousands of people came out to hear former President Donald Trump speak last week. There was a group of 48 people allowed to sit on stage behind Trump throughout the event. They were split into two groups on each side of the stage. One side seemed to walk away without any issues, but multiple people seated near each other on the other side tell me that they had to go to the emergency room after they left the event. Here tonight, for the first time, the Trump campaign is confirming that they're investigating this situation.
No taxes on Social Security benefits for our seniors.
More than 2,000 people filled up the Tucson Music Hall Thursday to hear Donald Trump's first speech in Tucson this campaign as Election Day nears. Some of his biggest supporters were allowed to sit behind him on stage. Supporters like Myra Rodriguez, a former director of Planned Parenthood with a notable shift to being pro-life. In 2016, she sat behind presidential candidate Hillary Clinton on stage at an event. Now she supports Donald Trump. She enjoyed the rally, but once she left, everything changed.
As soon as we left and I stepped outside, I started feeling like my eyes were burning.
At first, she thought it might be allergies. She lives near Phoenix. By the time she got home, it was so bad she decided to go to the emergency room.
The emergency room staff keeps saying, from the triage nurse to the PA, and are you sure you don't get spray anything? Your symptoms look like you were sprayed something.
The News 4 Tucson investigators spoke to her the morning after the rally, Friday last week. That morning, she was nearly blind.
I can't see anything. When I try to open my eyes, it's like a white cloud cover. It hurts. It hurts a lot to open my eyes. I have this cold cloth that I put on and I take off all the time. But this is horrible.
She says the doctors weren't able to determine what exactly caused it. Her initial thought of allergies went out the window when she heard from several others seated next to her at the rally that also ended up seeking medical attention with the same symptoms.
It kept getting worse and worse. My eyes started watering a lot. My nose started running. Then I started feeling my face get really flushed, and then my neck felt like it was on fire. And it just progressed from there.
This Tucson woman, who doesn't want to be identified, was seated in the same area behind Trump with her brother. Both walked away with eye injuries and sought medical attention.
I was all focused on my eyes. I mean, my eyes were red like hell, I mean, it's like, it just like unbearable. You just couldn't, I couldn't handle it. I just couldn't handle it.
Whatever caused it seems to be isolated to the group seated on stage right. Former Congressional District 6 candidate Kathleen Wynne was seated on the opposite side of the stage.
Okay, so that's the weirdest part. Track with me here. Listen, if it was some random people, it could have been some sort of noxious gas. Maybe they were forced to watch an episode of Rachel Maddow before, like me, and then they got sick to their stomach. I don't really know. But when you have a directive like this, right, when you're on one side of the stage and there's only the sickness, and then the medical examination states that it looks like you actually got sprayed, that your symptoms weren't just, there was irritation. It looks like this was a chemical attack. And I'm going to leave it up to medical professionals to answer that question. What in the hell do you think actually went on? And to the rest of you guys who look at something like this and say, I don't know, but it looks pretty damn suspicious, I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments down below. Your feedback is important to us here at the Vigilant News Network. And when you sign up for our newsletter at vigilantnews.com, you not only make videos like this possible, but you stay informed. Well, if you'd also like updates like this, you can follow us on Rumble and on X. We are at Vigilant News. Shout out to our sponsor for today. Make sure you check them out at tnusa.com/VNN or call 1-800-958-1000 to get rid of your back taxes today. My name is Elijah Schaefer. Thank you so much again for watching. This has been another episode of the Morning Catch-Up, only on Vigilant News. Have a great rest of the week as always. May God bless the United States of America. I'm signing out.